Welcome to this advanced stretching and equalization routine for freedivers. The purpose of this routine is to improve our ability to relax while compressed at depth and to enable us to dive deeper by equalizing deeper. We can do this by improving the mobility and compression ability of the thoracic cavity and the breathing muscles. To allow us to do that, we are using full long breath holds with movement and compression and empty long breath holds with movement and compression, and this can be quite an intense practice. You need to proceed slowly and carefully, building up to maximum intensity. Generally, I would recommend this routine to divers who are diving comfortably deeper than 20 meters, but who may be starting to struggle with equalization between 20 and 30 meters at some point. I personally use this routine as a substitute to deep diving days. That means I don't recommend such intense empty lung stretches before deep diving or even on the same day. I feel that combining this routine with deep training sessions could be too strenuous on the body, but that's just my personal feeling. If you will only be diving at easy depths for you that day, for example, if you're just instructing or fun diving, then I think it's okay to do both if you want. I would rather recommend a yoga asana routine such as the one I will link to at the top right of the screen if you want a stretching routine that can also be done on diving days. You can use this routine on your rest days or several times a week during periods where you don't have access to water, for example. I personally don't use packing or extreme reverse packing, but if you are very advanced in this area, then go ahead. Be warned that divers have been known to seriously injure themselves when they combine packing and stretching. Please never wear the nose clip during breath holds for safety reasons. You should have a general good level of mobility in the body before doing this practice. Open hips, the ability to sit comfortably for extended periods with a straight back. It can be nice to precede the main routine with some neck, jaw and tongue stretches. I'll make a video with those at some point further down the line, but that's quite nice. The EQ exercises that we do between the stretches, they're just the ones that I like to do. You can also do your own or not do them at all, but I think there's some real value in practicing equalization on dry land. I think it helps to loosen up the eustachian tubes and improve the mobility and the control of the equalization muscles. If you want to just listen to this routine on your headphones, there's an audio version available for Patreon supporters at patreon.com/freedivecafe. And finally, I just want to say a massive thank you to two people, Aaron Solomons for introducing me to the exercises with the ball, and to Victor Reshetniak for introducing me to the exercise with the bottle. Thank you. For this routine, you're going to need a small Pilates ball, about 25 centimeters. The one I have here is actually a little bit too big for sure, but something similar to that. You're also going to need a yoga block, or perhaps you could use a couple of books or a book, and eventually you won't need it. And you'll also need a bottle. This is a hard water bottle. Another good choice is a wine bottle, so you got an excuse to drink a bottle of wine. You're welcome. You'll also need a towel. A small towel is fine. And optionally, a nose clip. I like to use the nose clip, but it's not necessary. I'm going to start with some warming up exercises for a few minutes. We'll start with a full inhale, full lungs, or maybe 80-90% of full. Now we hold for around 10 seconds, making gentle movements of the neck and the chest, whatever feels good. Then exhale and relax. Now we'll put the nose clip on, or just use your fingers, pinch the nose. We're going to do 20 repetitions of Frenzel and reverse Frenzel. So these are quite active and strong Frenzels. We Frenzel and then we reverse the process, sucking the air out of the ear. You can see that there's quite a lot of movement in my throat here. This is just a nice way to really open up, loosen up the eustachian tubes. Now we do a full exhale all the way down until there's nothing left inside the lungs. Hold about 10 seconds. Gently lift up the diaphragm. You can make some small movements from side to side here, just easing yourself into the stretches. And then inhale to recover. If you need to take recovery breaths, that's also a nice thing to do between each of these short breath holds. And we'll do it a second time. Full inhale. I personally don't pack on these inhales, but if that's something that you're very used to, you might be packing too. Just be careful. Hold again for about 10 seconds. This time I'm making chest and spine rotations. First in a clockwise direction, then in an anti-clockwise direction. Just naturally and organically bringing movement into my spine as I hold my breath. And then exhale and release. Nose clip back on. 20 more Frenzel, reverse Frenzel repetitions. I'm doing this, of course, on something more like a passive exhale or a tidal inhale. You can see the strong up and down movement of the throat. And recover. Now we'll do our full exhale. Exhale all the way down until you are completely empty. I don't really do any reverse packing here, but if that's something that you are experienced with, that's fine. Got another 10-second hold. Gently lifting the diaphragm, doing some chest rotations. Whatever feels good. And then inhale to recovery. Round 3, one more time. This time we'll stay a little bit longer in the breath hold and do some more stretches. Full inhale all the way. You should be feeling that you're getting really almost maximally full here. We're going to start with a few simple side stretches, not really staying long in each position, but just keeping the body moving side to side, and then back over to the right side. Back over to the left side. Still holding. I'll do some easy rotations. And then to the left. I'll put my hands behind, draw my shoulders back, a little bit of a back bend here. And then return to the center and exhale. Nose clip back on. And then 20 more Frenzel and reverse Frenzels. So this is kind of like going to the gym for your Frenzel equalization. Which is not to say this is the way that you should equalize in the water, but we'll come to that next. Of course, if you begin to experience any air hunger at any point during these stretches or exercises, just start breathing again. It's not a race, it's not a competition. Okay, full exhale, empty lungs. All the way out, completely empty. And then we're going to hold for about 20 seconds. Do some gentle stretches on empty lungs. Moving from side to side. Be very aware of the difference in the sensations in your chest between full and empty lungs. And then inhale to recovery. Okay, now we start with the ball exercises. I'm going to place the yoga block behind us. That's where our head is going to rest. You may need that in the beginning. Let's do that for the first time. Take your ball. Full inhalation. Maybe just start with about 80% for this one, especially if you're doing this for the first time, maybe even less. Bring the ball behind you. Place the ball in the upper center part of the back. Draw the yoga block in to support your head. Now you can bring your hands into the arrowhead position and gently rock from side to side. It's really good to bring a little bit of movement into these stretches. In the beginning you may need to bring your hands down by your side like this, or it may change from day to day. That's okay. Hands in arrowhead position, holding here for about 30 seconds. And we inhale, come back up. I'm going to put my nose clip on now. I'm going to do about 20 repetitions of very gentle frenzel. So unlike the first time we did this quite forcefully, I'm now frenzeling very gently with minimum intensity, which is much more like what we will try to achieve as we dive. I'm doing this on FRC, so after a passive exhale. Inhale, and then we do round 2. Full inhalation, this time filling a little bit more, maybe 85 to 90%. So a common mistake here is that the ball is placed too low down on the back. You really need to bring the ball more in line. Imagine there's a line from the bottom of the breastbone right down through the center of the ball, so a little bit higher up. It's the upper thoracic spine that we really want to get into here. Here you can see I've reduced the height of the yoga block a little bit by turning it the other way. Inhale back to center, and then we'll do another round of FRC frenzels. So first passive exhale, and then 20 very gentle repetitions of frenzel with super keen awareness on the sensations around the ears, the jaw, the mouth. And recover. One more time, full inhalation. This time, let's go for 95, maybe almost up to 100% full here. This time I'm going to remove the yoga block from behind the head. So give me a little bit more space to open up the back. But you must be very comfortable first before you try to do that. Try to treat yourself kindly, treat your body kindly. There's no rush to achieve comfort in these stretches. It happens over time. Gentle rocking from side to side. Inhale back to center. And we'll do one more round of FRC, frenzel equalization. Very gentle, absolute minimal frenzeling. Keeping the belly relaxed at all times. Make sure the belly is soft. Make sure there's no movement anywhere below the neck. Okay, now it's time for the empty lung variations. You're going to have to go really carefully. Don't do an absolute full exhale the first time you do this. Eventually we work towards absolutely fully emptying the lungs, what some people call RV, going to RV. Bring the ball into position. Going to hold for about 10 to 20 seconds. You'll probably feel your air hunger comes sooner on these holds. Gentle rocking from side to side. Body awareness. Awareness of sensations. And then inhale. Once you start to feel some air hunger, inhale, hold, and continue holding a little bit longer. So we just maximize the efficiency of the time that we have in these positions. Inhale back to center. Again, 20 more super gentle Frenzel equalizations. Another round now of full exhale stretches on the back. Now it is also a possibility that you could use some hyperventilation before going into the RV stretches. That would reduce your CO2 and reduce your urge to breathe and allow you to stay in the stretches for longer. That is something that you could do. Not something I'm doing here, but it's an option. I personally hold for about 10 to 20 seconds comfortably here. Maybe less time for you, maybe more time for others. And then inhale, hold the inhalation, keep moving inside this position. Try to see this routine as a practice, try to be aware, fully in the moment as you perform these exercises. 20 more repetitions of very gentle Frenzel equalization. Try to find the absolute minimum effort necessary after a passive exhalation. If you're not equalizing between the stretches, you might be doing some neck, tongue, or jaw stretches. That's also something that's nice to do. Taking a little rest here. Again, full exhalation all the way down, completely empty. You'll see that I've used the block here for all of these full exhale stretches, which just goes to show that it's that little bit more, well, quite considerably more intense. Then inhale, hold the inhalation. Doesn't have to be a full inhale, just a relaxed inhale. Gentle rocking from side to side. Really feel how that affects the mobility in the back and the bottom of the ribs, where the ribs join with cartilage to the breastbone and the spine. Coming back to center, we do 20 more repetitions of gentle Frenzel equalization. This is just the way I like to do it. You could do your own combination of equalization exercises or other stretches, or just chill out, drink some water, smoke a cigarette, whatever it is you like to do between the stretches. Now we come to the stretches on the front of the body. Full inhalation. I'm going to place the ball in the center of the chest. So wherever the center of the ball is, we're going to place that just maybe 1 or 2 fingers width above the bottom of the breastbone. At first, you'll probably want to keep your arms beside your body with the hands pointing forward. This will allow you to control a little bit better how much pressure goes onto the ball. Some people may find this extremely intense to begin with. Eventually, we'll be able to bring the hands to the side. But for now, we are going to now practice reverse packing exercise, meaning that we first passively exhale, pinch the nose, frenzal, let the air out of the nose, frenzal, let the air out of the nose, frenzal, let the pressurized air out of the nose. Keep repeating this exercise until it's no longer possible to bring up air from the lungs. Keep your hand on your belly. Keep checking that you're not using any abdominal movements whatsoever to facilitate the bringing up of air. It should all be coming from the dropping down of the tongue after each equalization. Round 2, full inhalation. Lie down on the ball, center of the chest. This time I'm placing my hands behind me, so I'm not able to support myself with my hands now. This will increase the intensity of the stretch. Now all my body weight is pushing down onto the ball. My chest is compressing. And then we'll do another round of the reverse packing exercise. I find this exercise so valuable for increasing the awareness of how we can bring up air safely. At what point do we need to turn around? Because very often we reach that point where we need to bring up air, but we try to force it, and forcing is one of the many reasons that we can be injured or otherwise have a bad dive. We're going to do another round now, last one, of full lungs on the front. Some people might say, why are we doing these stretches on full lungs? When we dive, we never have full lungs. As soon as we go into the water, our lungs are compressing. That's true, but I believe in the idea of increasing the general mobility of the thoracic chest, and that works both ways. I believe that the movement in the expansion phase is also valuable to helping us compress more. Holding for about 20 to 30 seconds, relaxing completely. Here I've forgotten to do any movement, but you can move from side to side. Make sure you're taking your recovery breaths and that you feel rested between each stretch. One more time, reverse packing exercise. Soft belly. Gently letting the air out through the nose, bringing up from the lungs by dropping down the back of the throat. Repeat the process, making sure that you don't engage the abdominal muscles or the diaphragm. Inhale to recover. Now we move on to the full exhale version of this exercise. So full exhale on the front. Exhale fully all the way to RV, as they say, and beyond. Be very, very cautious when you first try these exercises. The compression on the chest, the compression on the sternum, on the breastbone, the connections between the breastbone and the ribs, cartilaginous connections, can be very sensitive if you're not used to this. It takes time. (10 to 30 seconds, gentle movements from side to side. Feeling, being aware of the sensations in your chest. relaxing around any uncomfortable sensations, letting go. Now we're going to do a mouthfill simulation exercise. Put the nose clip on, exhale passively, fill your mouth. The nose clip should be just loose enough that a small amount of air is being released from the nose. So we're kind of simulating the descent in the water and the reduction of the airspace volume in the mouth as we dive. And you can see here that I'm having to change the position of my tongue and control my jaw position as the airspace gets smaller and smaller. So it's not the exact same thing as being in the water and diving down, but it does improve the awareness. It's been very helpful for me in improving the awareness of what happens in the mouth as we dive with mouthfill, especially those transitional points where we go from very full mouth to not so full, and then when we switch to frenzel at the end. Taking a little rest, and then we'll do another round. Full exhale all the way. Lying down on the ball, we'll hold for 10 to 30 seconds, gentle movements. This time you see that I'm placing my hands down by my side, so now I really am maximizing the intensity of this. All that body weight is going into the ball. Now we're going to inhale like we did before. Inhale and hold a little bit longer. I didn't do that on the last one, that's just because I forgot. Again, some hyperventilation, 30 seconds of rapid breathing can be helpful in extending the length of the comfortable breath hold here. But of course, don't do that before you get in the water. This is only for this specific purpose here, and I'm usually not doing that, but it's an option. Mouthfill FRC simulation exercise. We shout out to, I think it was Vitomir Maricic who first introduced this exercise to me. I know Julia Mose is also a big fan. Taking a little rest. Now, one more time. Full exhalation. All the way. Last one. If you feel any real discomfort, if you feel any dis-ease or unease around your chest, your heart, your lungs, anything like that, then you must stop immediately. Take a rest. It will take some time to build up to a 30-minute practice. It will take some time to build up to the most intense versions of these stretches. It doesn't look like much, but it's actually quite intense. Inhale, and then continue holding the position a little longer. You see here I'm bringing my hands to the side and I'm using my arms to allow me to really roll my chest all over that ball. And you could do that in any of these forward facing stretches. Try to bring movement into the stretches when it feels comfortable, if it feels comfortable. One more time, I'm going to do this mouthfill simulation exercise. Just loose enough that a little bit of air is coming out. I did a podcast episode on mouthfill equalization for the Freediving Journal podcast. That's episode 2. So if you want to hear from many expert freedivers and their opinions on mouthfill and when to use it, if to use it, why to use it, how to use it, then check out that one, episode 2 of the Freediving Journal podcast. And then we'll rest here. And now we come to the bottle. So all of the exercises that we did with the ball can be done with the bottle. Today we're just going to do one exercise. You can see the position of the bottle on the sternum. Place the bottle on the mat like so, the neck pointing away from you. Take your towel and place it over the bottle. I'm going to lie down on the bottle. So you can do this with full lung stretches, empty lung. You can do it on full or empty lung, but I really recommend that in the beginning. Today we're just going to do 1 to 2 minutes lying on the bottle and breathing. This is very, very intense on the sternum. In the beginning you'll see that my arms are supporting me beside my chest. This allows me to control how much pressure goes into the bottle. Breathing naturally, exhaling naturally, being aware of the feelings and the sensations in the center of the chest. Usually at this point of the routine, for me this is enough. I don't really feel like doing full lung stretches in this position on the bottle. Here I've brought the arms down by my side, so now really all of that body weight from the chest is going into the bottle, and you might find this impossible. In the beginning you probably will find this impossible, but it's something that you can build up to. Over time you can also gradually decrease how many layers of towel are on the bottle so that you can increase the intensity more, but slowly. Okay, that's been about 2 minutes, so we'll come out of the posture. You could continue with more if you wanted, but for today we're just going to leave it there. I'm just going to leave it there. That was a full routine for me. I'm going to lie down in the Shavasana, relaxation position, and rest, down regulate. So before we say goodbye, I'd just like to give one shout out to this little device that I'll put up on the screen here. This is called a yoga backbending bench or something like that. There's a few different names for it. If you can get your hands on one of these are also very, very nice for increasing the flexibility of the upper thoracic spine. I highly recommend. Not so easy to get your hands on those though. Thank you so much for watching. It's been an absolute pleasure. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe, hit the ding notification bell if you want to see more on the channel. The main website is freedivingthrive.com. Also go to Freedive Cafe Patreon page, patreon.com/freedivecafe if you want lots of extra content, interviews, and extended episodes of the podcasts and things like that. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful rest of your day and dive safe.